Okay. We're talking about your break, your passaggio, transitioning between registers. This is the kryptonite for so many singers. Do you freak out because you're like, oh my God, here it comes. I got to transition. I got to go from chest to head. I got to go from head to chest. Don't worry. This is a very normal fear, and it's something that's not easy to do. And there are some very specific things going on when you're changing registers. But there is one main thing going on if you are having trouble with your break. And so I hate the term break. Those of you may have heard me say this before because it implies a chasm. It implies something is going along and then it stops, it breaks, it gets interrupted. And when we think about our voice as a break, that it has this breaking point in it, right? The language that we talk about our voices really matters because your body is following your brain. And so if you are anticipating this point of no return, this chasm, this break, then all of a sudden you feel like you have to do something, change something so that that doesn't happen. And so number one, I prefer the term passaggio. That is the term that most classical singers use to refer to this part of their voice, a passage moving from one register to the next. Nothing's broken, nothing is getting interrupted. It's just moving through, okay? But when we talk about the break, right? Most of you experience it as a break because you're doing one major thing wrong when you get to that transition point between chest voice and head voice. And it is this: you're worried. And so you hit the brakes and you stop or change or interrupt your breath support. Now, if you're going along and you're singing in chest voice, and your support is what it is, and it is that appoggio, that lean. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go look at my other content. I have tons of videos on it in YouTube. If you're interrupting that consistent lean of support, then yeah, you're going to experience a break, a chasm, because most of you are in your lean of support in your chest voice. And then right before you go to head voice, that that fear comes in and you like hit the brakes for a split second. You stop moving through your lean. Then you transition to head and you get this yodel feeling and it breaks, it cracks, right? Why does it crack? Because the support hasn't been consistent. And so you're interrupting your support. You are breaking your support. You are literally creating the break that you don't like, that you are scared of happening. And so when we want to get rid of that break feeling, so we can go from chest to head without any interruption, right? If I'm going, you don't know when I transitioned. Why? Because I'm not actually changing anything. Most of you think you need to change something to go from chest to head. And so you do, and then you interrupt your support, something changes, and then you get, I can make my voice do that too if I interrupt my support. So all of this is to say that the most important part of a smooth transition from chest to head, of getting rid of the break, is understanding what consistency and uninterrupted support is in that moment and feels like in that moment. Do not interrupt your support. Do not change the consistent flex and flow of your appoggio when you go to transition from chest to head. If you've worked with me, if you've done any of your work of my workshops, you know that like the number one thing that we learn about support is that we do not change breath support when we change pitch. We do not change breath support when we're changing registers, okay? So notice in your body when you approach that moment of transition, if you hit the moment and your body stops flexing and flowing through your support. Now, I will full out say that if you don't have a rock solid bulletproof understanding of your support in general, then this advice, unfortunately, is not going to really mean anything to you. And there's a lot of confusing information around there about support. And a lot of you probably have been taught some things about support that you kind of think you're embodying, you're employing, but you're not entirely sure, and you're experiencing issues that come from the lack of consistent bulletproof rock solid support, but you don't realize that the problem is support. So if this is one of them, this is a huge one of them. So if you have a break and if you have trouble transitioning easily and smoothly from chest voice 9% of the time, it is because you do not have bulletproof breath support. You do not have a rock solid understanding of your support. And so next week, I'm hosting a 3-day live masterclass on how to reset your breath support, how to reset your breath support to be a bulletproof engine for your voice and for your singing career. Because I recognize that most of you need to understand the things that you're not doing efficiently, the mistakes that you're making that you don't even realize, because support is not taught very well, guys. I'm just going to go out on my soapbox here and say it. There is a lot of misinformation, confusing information. I mean, if you're watching this, hit me in the chat. Like, have you gotten like confusing information, or just like a teacher talking to you about support and you're like, well, I mean, I kind of get it, but I don't know if I'm really doing that right, if I'm supposed to be doing it right. You need a reset, because if you're going to fix this transition from chest to head, if you're going to get rid of your break, then you need to understand how to reset your breath support to work for you instead of against you, sabotaging the things that you want to do with your voice and not even realizing it's because your breath support is not rock solid, is not bulletproof. So some of the other things that show up like this, for example, that are symptoms of breath support that is not locked in. This is one of them, right? Trouble with your break, trouble transitioning between registers. Tension is one of them. Strain is one of them. Vocal fatigue is one of them. If you experience pitchiness, you're flat, you're sharp, 9 times out of 10, it's your breath support. If you have trouble mixing, so transitioning between registers is also a product. If you are able to do that smoothly, it's because you're able to mix in the transition. You're able to support chest voice and support head voice equally as strong so that they come together in an equal mix, and you don't have one register completely like overpowering the other, right? So if you have trouble mixing, it's because you're not employing the same consistency of breath support throughout whatever the register is, if we're chest, if we're mixed, if we're head. So trouble mixing is a breath support issue. Pitchiness, a breath support issue. We talked about vocal fatigue, right? So September is breath support month. We're going all in on breath support this month. And this breath support reset coming up is the first part of it. This is the first thing that you need to do. So it is 3 days, live masterclass, free. This is not old school technique, you guys. This is like really targeted ideas and tools to help you reset how you think about and how you employ your breath support. So I'm going to be breaking down the big breath support mistakes that you're making without knowing it. I'm going to be giving you the 3 most important technique shifts that you really have to get, like understand. This is about understanding so that you can then embody these really important shifts to bring yourself to that foundation of bulletproof breath support from now on. So if you are a serious singer, if you are a professional singer, if you are serious about breaking through to the next level in your singing and the next level of elite opportunities that will bring, you have got to dial in and reset your breath support. Okay, so join me. This is coming up September 15th through September 17th. 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific. We're going to go 90 minutes. We'll have time for Q&A. I'm going to put the link right here in the Facebook chat right now for you. If you're watching on YouTube, the link is in the post copy. All right, wait, YouTube, where'd you go? Here we are. Okay. So this is the link to register for the breath support reset. I want to make sure that you guys understand the potholes that you've been falling in and the walls that you've been crashing into that are affecting things like being able to transition registers. You guys, it's not hard when you understand what to be doing with your breath support, right? Like to understand what it feels like and what it means to flex and flow through your arpeggio and to not interrupt that when you get to that point of transition, because really the transition is not a transition. Nothing changes in the support. But if you don't know what that support is supposed to feel like and how to embody it, then it can be extremely frustrating. And I know that's where a lot of you guys are. So that's why we're doing this. So the link to register is in the chat in Facebook. It's in the post or the video description in YouTube. Don't miss it. 3 days, September 15th, 16th, and 17th. Register to save your spot. And I'll see you guys there. Bye.